Yo, I got something to say, and when I say it, you better listen up. We're here to have a great conversation, and want to invite everyone into this conversation. To my right, I have...
It's your boy, Pharrell. Mama call me Tim.
There you go. And to my left, I have...
My name is El Marquis, musician, rapper, record producer, and cross follower.
Let's get it. We're here to have some conversation, and we want to invite you guys into this conversation. We're going to throw a couple topics up. We're going to have a chat about it. Do me a favor. If you guys listen to this podcast or are looking at this wherever you're looking at it, do me a huge favor. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow all of us. The names will be down below. And make sure you hit us up with different topics you want to talk about. But first and foremost, I asked Tim. Well, Tim was actually looking to talk about a few things. Not Pharrell. He's looking to talk about a few things. And we're going to kind of just chime into it. I want to see what you guys think about these topics. Some of these things have been trending on Twitter and different other things. And we want to talk about them. Let's talk about it.
Hey, man. So, it was a couple weeks ago, I'm like scrolling through IG. You know how we do. And I see Pharrell saying pop up. Obviously, I follow Pharrell. He's a VA producer. You know what I'm saying? One of the trailblazers to kid a game.
Yeah.
You know, everybody knows him. Something in the water, all that. But, man, they had a post. It was a GQ post. He did an article with GQ. And I didn't read the article. I just seen a couple of the pictures, and it was referring to basically the new masculinity. So, you know, they had a couple pictures of Pharrell and in his new masculinity that, you know, I didn't necessarily stamp as new masculinity, but, you know. I mean, he's got 400,000 likes, man, so people like it. What's that mean to y'all?
I ain't wearing no dress. That ain't the new masculinity to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna speak for some of the men. I don't feel it. I do. You know what I'm saying? I do like different things. But
you're not rocking with that right there, man. I mean, that looks like
I ain't rocking with it, man.
I ain't rocking with it.
Yeah, I wouldn't rock.
Like, but I some of the things that yo, I don't know. It's like he's wearing like a. You gotta go to Twitter and you gotta find a GQ magazine. You guys know it's a green, like green and yellow.
Yeah, I gotta pull that up. This might be the cover for this podcast. Y'all will see what we talking about.
Yeah, it has to be. Yo, like matter of fact, I'm gonna make that happen.
Yo, it's nasty, man. I'm just gonna say, like, it looked like he just like, I don't know, bro. It's nasty, man. Yeah. Like, he just got like an overshawl type long looking, like, it looked like the bottom of a skirt on your little side joint like this.
Let me see real quick.
I'm gonna show you. He look like Big Bird.
I was just about to say that.
I can't rock with it, you know.
I mean, my thing is like, I just don't rock with somebody else trying to tell me what it is to be masculine.
Yeah.
Like, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, there was never, it was just, you was masculine or you was feminine. And so this little thing that, it kind of started this trip a little bit when they did like a lot of the metrosexual clothing and like the Forever 21s and the H&Ms and like the skinny jeans. It kind of started there and it kind of just progressed into, the Jaden Smiths rocking the dresses and trying to make it seem like that's something we're supposed to be doing.
True.
A lot of people that's done it,
I don't mess with that. So, okay, since you said that, you brought up Jaden Smith. But when we were coming up, we're a little older than this Zoe. Guy over here, Zoe. And so, but remember, like, everybody went to that stage of the pink shirts and the pink. What? Who had it? Cam had the pink.
Cam had the pink polos.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
so, I mean, but then again, it's like pink's not really.
But that's more so like a thing where we just associated colors with stuff. Which is, I mean, we associated pink with girl, blue with boy ever since you were little. You go to the gender reveal thing now.
Still, yeah.
It's still the blue thing and the pink thing. It's funny. Somebody said something the other day like blue and pink shouldn't be associated with boy and girl anymore. It should be like dudes do green and yellow and just neutral. And there is no. They're pretty much trying to take away gender.
You can't do that. That's what I say. You can't do that.
And like I know we're getting really deep into it. We didn't really bash him. Like I've been on just frying for a couple minutes, but I mean at the end of the day, man, we cannot erase gender. Like my belief is God created man and then woman.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning there's two different purposes. Every plug that you have is a male and a female, right? There's a male and a female.
Mm-hmm.
Something has to go in, something has to go out. They can't be the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
They can't. When you try to hook up your iPhone 10 or your X or your 11 to the little the piece to the little aux cord, what do you get? Something has to go into something.
Yeah.
I'm getting into gender, but it's all coming back to the fact that like there is a separation and there is a distinct difference between men and women. I'm not saying I can judge the way Pharrell or whoever chooses to dress. You wear what you want to wear, but don't tell me that that's the new masculinity. That's where I get offended.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good one.
That's crazy.
I think that, I mean, now these days, everyone, you know, you have a lot of people make this. I'm more masculine than you, and really, I don't know. What do you think?
I think some of it, like, the being masculine or being feminine, a lot of it is, like, it provides order in a way. Like, there are certain responsibilities that a man and a woman bring to a household. Doesn't necessarily mean that, like, it has to be the traditional, like, the man has to make all the money or more money than the female, or the woman has to do the cleaning per se, but just, like, God designed this to be ordered, like, for there to be order within a household. Mm-hmm. Like, the man should be providing for his family, and the woman does also have responsibilities to cater to the family as well. And some of the stuff that's been going on where, like, it seems like they're trying to erase, like, the gender. To me, it's like
the gender lines are blurred.
Yeah,
for sure. At this point, is what they're trying to do. Yeah.
And a lot of it is, to me, is like erasing order. If that makes sense.
Well, obviously, you know, they started with trying to take God away. And so, of course, the next thing to do is to take man away. So, once you take away God and you take away man, what's left? There's no leadership. There's a whole bunch of people doing what they want to do and doing what you feel. And so, everything now is about feeling. Feelings mostly are associated with the female trait. And so, people don't want you to be logical. People don't want you to be disciplined. People don't want you to be practical, to actually, like, have principles to line up. And so when you get rid of all of that, you can say that something is a new masculinity. And for 400,000 people to like it on Instagram, that lets me know that a lot of people are with it, or if not, just desensitized to what's going on. And where it's been trending to, I guess, for the past 10 years, it's been progressively, like,
getting that way.
Yeah.
So I was taught that, and over the years, even through study, that the man is the foundation, and everything in the household is, and in our society, has always been where the man is the foundation. And then if you have a solid foundation for a house, then you can build a house as big as you want it, because it'll be strong. And so, when a man is strong, then this is what I was taught, that a woman now can be able to go as far and as hard and as she wants to go. It's not taken away from the woman at all, because sometimes it's like, oh, you trying to, no. What I'm saying is that in a strong household, if a man is being a great foundation in the household, and if you look in history, this is just crazy. This is a crazy topic. I know this is getting something totally different, but I'll say this. In history, it was the man's responsibility to take care of the household, and I'm not just talking about, like, going to make the money. It was coming home and actually teaching the children and the family. It was the man's responsibility, because what we do is we say, oh, it's the woman's job to have, teach the children and rear the children. It was the man's responsibility to make sure that the household was being taught, they were eating, and then he was making sure everything was in order. So there's more responsibility on the man, and what happens is that you take away the man, and now the woman has to come and now be the foundation, which she wasn't built for that. She was here to actually support and be the one that's, like, side by side to build a strong family.
So just to interject with that, when you talk about taking the man away, that's been systematically done to our people specifically. And so what happens is the woman feels like, and they say stuff like, "Oh, I was the mother and the father," and you weren't.
No.
You tried to fill certain voids that were father, you know, a father's responsibility. But you tried to do that, and that's great that you were able to still be there and be the rock for your family when there was no man. But a lot of it was done either systematically or programming of us black men to not feel like we're obligated to stay around and protect what we've built. And so when you got, you know, laws put in place to put people in jail for things that they shouldn't be put, you know, in jail for, and you have systems in place like welfare that make a woman feel like it makes more sense for her to be single or to not claim you on her taxes or whatever the case may be, or y'all not join together just so they can get another check and live somewhere for a cheaper price and get food stamps. Now you're handicapping and stuff to what's the man's job if you can get everything from the government? You want the government to put in place of, man. I think it all starts all the way back. So you weren't going off topic to me because it all starts from there. And so then the woman now is the main figure in the household. So as we grow up, feminine stuff is just, we're just used to it because that's what you see. So a lot of the boys that are coming up now, they've seen their mom. They probably, half of them probably tried on heels when they were kids. You know, half of them probably did these things. And you're thinking that that's okay and that's regular, but really that's confusing masculinity and femininity. I'm not talking about gay people, none of that stuff. I'm talking about just masculinity and femininity. And I think it all starts in the family, like you said, man, the root.
It does. I think that our families have been attacked for years in the first place. If you look at what's going on as far as with the wall and separating the parents and little girls online crying because they separating these people from their parents and their fathers and stuff. It is a huge thing, and so it goes beyond just the Pharrell picture. It goes beyond just this thing we call what they're trying to say. This is new masculinity. This is, I feel like, it's an attack on our families, where now we need to, as men, especially black men, we have to take responsibility. And I always say this to men. I remember I was talking to a guy the other day. He was like, I messed up, man. He was like, my kid's like 12 years old. I'm like, yo, tomorrow's another day. I was like, yo, today's another day. Like, yo, you can make it up. Like, go and take responsibility of whatever you messed up. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like, don't let society tell us what we can't do. No, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to not only provide for my child, I'm going to make sure I give them the education that they need, the love that they need, because that's absent when, a father's not in there. They bring a sense of love that brings security. You know what I'm saying? And that's huge. That's huge. So I think masculinity it's been attacked for a long time. It's crazy. In my study on black culture, to take the masculinity from black men. This is what they used to do for slaves. The biggest and strongest slave that
I know it.
They used to in front of everybody. He used to do them in front of everybody. Yo, the
gas straight.
Yo, that's crazy, bro. Like, are you serious?
And then I'm gonna get the woman that you love pregnant. That's what I'm gonna do as the owner. So me being a slave, not only are you my property, but your wife is my property. Oh, by the way, you don't even have nothing to work with to go back and love her in that way and know her in that way. And then when I call her into my house, she's my property too. How much less of a man can you feel if you're taking away my body part and the woman? So that's my right.
You said castrated. They used to not only castrate, they used to do them in. Like the slave master used to bend them over in front of everybody and do them.
Same way they do it.
That is crazy. So even the castrating and everything, and then doing them like, yo, and then you get his wife pregnant, bro. That's an attack on a culture of people and taking their masculinity away. That's evil and wicked, and literally that's stats. That's some those are facts, things that have happened to a culture of people, and that's super wrong. And so this is the reason why things like this, we have to address these situations, because honestly, we can't allow ourselves to be, stripped away from a lot of these things like this anymore. You know what I'm saying?
And more specifically, not even specifically, just more generally, we can't allow ourselves to feel like we have to agree with everything.
I agree.
I'm so sick of people thinking that you have hate in your heart because you don't agree with something. If I've grown up with principles my whole life, I don't have to sacrifice my principles just for somebody to give me 400,000 likes on my page.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And I'm not, I don't know, I know Pharrell's always been a little, eccentric. I don't know what the word is. But I mean, so I'm not attacking him. It's just the message that is being put out as somebody that we all respect to be the face of what you're trying to tell us is new masculinity, to me is a slap in the face to every hardworking man that we all know, including ourselves. What is our masculinity then? Is that the old masculinity?
I don't know.
Everyone no one wants to question it. We're just expected to accept it. When the first time I found out that there was some belief or whatever that there were more than one gender, I didn't know about it. I was never taught this in school or anywhere, and someone was telling me about how there's more than two genders, and I was I was trying to understand it, and I wanted them to give me scientific reasoning to explain it or anything. I couldn't get any of that from this particular person, and they were just more so wanting me to they were more so accusing me of being homophobic or whatever you would call it for gender, and they wouldn't even really explain it. So it was they want us to accept this new principle, but then they don't have necessarily a way to explain it. We're just supposed to accept it, and if we don't accept it, then we're this or that, versus wanting to understand it or just using logic.
Yeah, man. I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, it's not an attack.
No, it's not
on people, but definitely when it comes to these subjects being brought up, we can't shy away from this type of stuff, man.
No, we can't.
If so, then everybody's just gonna be running around. We have a whole bunch of other genders, and the media is pushing so many different genders right now that if we don't wake up and start speaking and have something to say,
right,
it's really gonna be a problem. And I think it's our duty to be able to provide that platform to be able to have a different voice that's not necessarily the most popular or trending.
Definitely. I think that it's important that we do it. You're right. And the thing is that if we're talking about it, that's 400,000 people who actually like the post. But there's a whole lot of other people that's on Twitter who saw that. They didn't say nothing. And there's a lot of people who want to say something but don't know when to say it. Right. And I think that sometimes that's why I say this show is called I Got Something to Say, because there's something that is to be said. And sometimes we sit back and we don't say anything. And because we don't say anything, if you don't say anything, someone will say it for you or say whatever they feel.
That's a fact.
And put their perspective on you.
Sometimes silence is you agreeing. I mean, at the end of the day, they talked about, I don't even want to get into this, but we'll get into it on another show, man. But it's a lot of the stuff that we have been silent on is slapping us in the face right now. And if we continue to do that, your whole culture, your whole gender, all of it is going to be erased at some point in time. To the point where they don't need a male or a female. We can just recreate and produce y'all, and now we have robots running the world. But we'll say that another day.
This is true.
Man.
Yo, shout out to Pharrell, man. Much love to you, man.
Yeah,
it's something in the water, but
it's definitely something in the water. Yo, and Pharrell's my man. And Pharrell, I might be at something at the water next year.
Yeah, I will be.
But I'm not rocking your outfits, bro.
Definitely not.
And look, man. We talk about judging matters. We don't talk about judging people. This is not what we're about. I know I'm not. It's just, look, man. What's real is real, and I'm definitely the type of person that's going to tell you how I feel about something. Whether you agree or not.
Yes, I think we should.
I think that we all should be able to respect.
This one right now, I'm not agreeing with that one. Definitely not.
I ain't with it.
Not with it. So, We got one more topic. Want to hit it real quick?
I don't know, man. Do y'all want to go into the whole TI situation?
Let's talk about the TI situation real quick. Listen, I want to hit the TI situation real quick before we get off, because I honestly, I'm like, yo, like, and I respect TI too.
They're gonna kill us for this.
They are. You know, we got to talk about it. Yeah. So let's talk. You jump start this one right here. I'll say this right here. As a father of two girls, and I have some nieces that I love, and and so this, I get T.I., but let's talk about it. So tell us the situation.
All right, man. So apparently he was on some other podcast, not his, and somebody asked him a question that somehow ended into him explaining how every year his daughter's birthday, after they had the little couple days of like party or whatever, that following day, he knock on the door. Are you ready? We going down to the doctor. And they go to the gyno, and he has him. Well, first of all, she has to sign off on a paper allowing him to see everything. Just the results.
Mm-hmm.
So he has them check the hymen and see if it's all intact. The crazy thing is, I didn't even know what hymen was. I didn't even know that was the term for that. Because when we were kids,
Popping cherry.
We popping the cherry was all we knew. I didn't never look up that word. So for it to be hymen, and for them to say, the funniest part was, they asked him, the doctor's like, so it can happen from like aggressive sports activity too. It can happen at riding horses or playing sports. I said, no, he don't play no sports. She don't play no sports. She'll do none of that. She'll do none of that. Like, if it's broken, somebody broke it. Yeah. Somebody's breaking and entering, man.
Oh my goodness.
But I mean, I don't have any kids. I'm gonna let you start, and I'll kind of follow up.
All right. So T.I. goes to the doctor and he asks, he wants to know, is my daughter's stuff, is she still good? Now, my take on it is, as a father, you want to take this, but you want to do this like, T.I., I like this. This is a good one right here.
He's trying.
But I'm gonna say this right now, like, I would never put that out there.
You
like,
can't tell the world, bro.
Definitely not. No.
You cannot come on. I got something to say. Like, I got something to say. My girl is still good.
Yeah, I'm letting you know.
You can't do it.
Why? What? It's a couple. That's crazy. So like, I'm like, how you gonna put that out there about your daughter? Which is crazy.
Wow, man.
Shouts out to her for holding it this long. How did she?
Hey, man, she just turned. She's 18 now. 18.
Yeah. So shouts out to her for holding it long, because everybody doesn't feel that way, and that's cool that But yeah, putting that business out there like that, like you were saying, earlier, now her business is out there. She go to work, she go to college, whatever. Everyone gonna talk about me.
Not to mention other people in the industry that might try to go extra hard to get it, because they know, I can say I got T.I.'s daughter. Mm-hmm. It's nasty thinking, but it's nasty people in the industry.
Yeah, I'm probably quite sure. In saying that, he probably reminded everybody about all them guns he has.
I'm pretty sure he let everybody know he was legally packing.
Yeah,
100%.
legit.
Yeah.
But that's crazy though. Like, to put that out there, he did that on purpose.
I don't know. I feel like they probably slipped it up, and because he was on a female talk show, he was a little more open to talking about that. I don't think he would have ever did that on his podcast.
Definitely not. Look, first of all, anything with women, I always say this: like, a woman knows how to get what they want.
That's a fact.
And if I was going to be on that all-woman podcast, which we invite that to happen, I would probably be conscious of everything and anything I said.
You gotta be prepared, man.
And I would love, if I don't know if T.I. feel this way, but I would love to get that back if I could.
Well, so the good thing about the women, they were gracious enough to pull the podcast down.
They did.
So after all the heat, they didn't want his daughter, I think, to feel that continuously. So
that's good.
It's down.
That's good.
They're not keeping it on their series or whatever, but it's crazy, man.
Sheesh.
How about you, Zoe, as a youngin? How do you feel about the hymen being intact? And
For me, I don't have any kids, so I'm not a father. I'm young myself. What'd you say?
What you waiting for, man?
Mind your business. Not for real though. This guy, I gotta deal with him all the time. No, but anyways, like I still, even though I'm 21, I'm turning 22 actually later this week.
Happy birthday!
Thank you.
Happy birthday!
Thank you. I still live with my dad, and I visit my mom frequently. So my parents are still very much so in my life. And obviously I don't have to deal with anything like this. But for me, like even though I still since I still live with my dad and my mom on occasion, I like there being a level of trust between us. Like I'll tell them like where I am, what I'm doing, whatever. But I don't need them. I personally don't want them to be like super all up in business like that. Like I just want there to be a layer of trust. And to me, like I get T.I.'s motivation for it, but for me, I think it's just that's a little extra, especially if you're gonna like put it out there like publicly. But even besides that, even if it like putting it out there publicly, I think that in itself is wrong. I think like if you're going to do something like that, that's a family thing. There's like certain family things that like when I'm talking with my family, there are certain things that we say in front of each other that does not leave the house. Yes, that stays between us, no matter like what it is. It could be something crazy or not, whatever. So I think first of all, I think it was wrong for him to put that business out. It's definitely like while she's still living under his household, it's his decision to do like what he wants because he is the father. To me, I think like if something on that level was under like myself or like on my sister, I know my sister probably would not be cool with it. I think that is just like a little. There's like a level of trust there that's I think isn't really invasive. I mean, that's very invasive.
But you know, like I'm sure his wife and him have argued over this plenty of times. You know, as her being a woman growing up, I'm sure she probably, you know how women always are on the daughter's side in certain cases, and I feel like that's probably an argument that they've had that he eventually just put his foot down and they take order to do. But now, you got her looking crazy too.
I know. Mom?
Yeah.
Is her opinion out there? Like, did she say anything about this publicly?
No, I'm glad she didn't. Because what you don't want to do is put a whole bunch of dysfunction in the house from outside. We can all talk about this at home. You can slap me in the face, whatever you want to do. But we're not going to continue to make this a thing. Like, from the most part, all we've seen was that the daughter has liked some of the tweets that were opposing, pretty much saying, oh, this is wrong, this is invasive. Like, she liked them. So that's her way of expressing, like, all right, I'm over that, Dad, I'm 18. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that she's really, we don't know. We don't know. But
I'll say this, because we were talking about this earlier in this right here. I gotta give kudos to T.I. for being a dad and father for his kids.
He is protecting his
family. Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do.
She could be looking crazy out here.
Yeah.
If he maybe certain ways he didn't raise her. If she was too free out here, she could be another talk of the town in a negative way.
Yeah, yeah.
Like what's her name's daughter? What's the girl? Lawrence Fishburne.
I don't know about her.
Anyway, when she got
out there,
well, she does movies. And so then this came out like maybe 5 years ago or something like that when she was doing movies. He had to get through that and still maintain his career. So.
No, I give him.
That makes sense to me.
Cause So there's a okay. It's just that's extreme,
right?
But I also like being especially in our culture again. We earlier we talked about the other taking stuff out of the household, but we have somebody in this household who is really taking charge, and T.I. is a man of his word. As an activist, I am like he is. I don't want to say a fan, but like, he's a role model to me.
Yeah, I definitely understand.
I mess with him on that. Yeah. Legit, I support him on that. So this was a little extreme, but I definitely like mess with him as far as him being a father to his child. Like you might be. We might be like, saying this is extreme, but as far as him being a father for his household, I give him his props on that one.
Yeah, and I really wish we had one or two females in here to talk about this, and maybe we can round some up next time. Yeah. But I think, what do y'all think is too much? So like, let's say like you're a public figure. Mm-hmm. What is too much information and what's private, and how much do you let that be known with your family or your friends as you go on camera, because whatever you reveal on camera lives with y'all forever.
Ever, yeah.
So where is the line between amazing content and it being a little evasive when it comes to privacy?
Personal stuff, anything involving like sex or anything revolving around like, I don't know, maybe like a secret or something that someone's like insecure about, like that's, to me, that's off limits. Like that's, if we talk about it within the household, that's one thing, but like don't put that stuff out there. Like that's, because I don't see how that's going to help someone else out with anything. Maybe like this thing with TI, maybe that could inspire like fathers to have like more protection over their kids. But like, if you wanted let's say that was his intention of getting that message out there, there's a way that he could have done that without putting all of her business out there. Because that's like, people are gonna look at her in a certain way, like you two have been saying.
But the level of trust that she, I gotta say this real quick. The level of trust that she has to still go with her dad.
Yeah.
Still.
He's done his part as a father. He's protected and provided.
That shows a level of like security and love that she has for him. Right. So that's another level right there.
What's the number one thing that a woman wants from a man?
Security.
She has that. So she may agree or disagree. At the end of the day, I respect this man for looking after me and doing what he does, and I'm sure he's explained why. I'm sure like all we got was a soundbite. So I'm sure he's explained why he does it. I'm sure it's not as extreme as the soundbite took it, but when social media gets to handle things, it becomes a thing. I'm sure he probably was even joking about some of it when he was talking, like, "Oh yeah, I can give you that, doc. Let me see that." Of course he had to make content, and I think what happened was like when you start going down the path, sometimes you can't get it back.
Yeah, you're already done. So your question, the good question you asked is like, how much is too much? I think that before you get on front of camera, you got to have some boundaries that you have to set. Like, we go this far, but not that far. And you have to know those boundaries because when you get to that spot, then you can say, we could talk about anything else but my daughter. We could talk about anything else but my wife. I'm not talking about that. Yeah, I was watching a joint the other day with Mike Tyson. You saw that during the interview? And dude said something to him. He was like, yo, that's messed up, bro. He said, you a slimy rat. He was like, yo, F you. We're live, bro. He was like, I don't give a F. He was like, I don't give a F. You're a rat. And they try to switch up the content.
He did some dirt up?
Yeah, he must have done something in there. Because they didn't show the clip of it. Yeah. They didn't show what the dude said, but he just started going off on live TV. And he was like, yo, we can go find that. He's like, I don't give a F. Yo, I was like, yo. He was... that right there, like knowing your boundaries, and then like how do you? Because that whole segment too, like Mike Tyson. First of all, he could have knocked the dude out,
right?
And what Mike
Tyson. He's trying to be extra peaceful right now, so I'm sure that anger. I'm sure his fist is ready to go. Yeah. Watch me work, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't try that on him.
Yeah. So I think that certain things as I would say, I don't say I'm a huge public figure, but a small public figure. I don't talk about my kids like that. I don't never, you can't find anywhere where I talk negative about my wife. I don't, never. Like my wife, I never talk negative about my wife at all. If we have a disagreement, you will never know. You can't find it. You can go on social media and try to find something. If I say something like jokingly, like my wife is saying this, that, and the third, like that's the extent of it. But as far as in like,
well, you made a good point because it's not just public figures. I mean, people that, when I used to be on Facebook and just see, like, I'm like, yo, I know y'all. Why are you talking about your husband like this? And then how does everybody else view him or in your marriage after this?
Yeah.
Like, how do you talk about your girlfriend like this on social? And then now, how are we supposed to view y'all as like, we don't have the same respect or reverence to y'all or the individuals when you start bad-mouthing them, And that's just on the negative side, but like, yeah, man, some stuff is off limits, man. We don't want to. Social media is not the place for that. Media is not the place for that.
Period.
It's nasty, man.
Yeah, I agree. So what do you say on your part? I guess that was what you said.
Are we talking about T.I. still?
No, just the whole situation.
With the public?
Yeah.
I think that anything said or done should be when it comes to media. But now I have been chewed out by girlfriends in the past about music and what I put in my music and content, feeling like it's directed at them or everybody would know. But I don't. That's to me is different.
That's only different if
that's creative licensing to me. And you're a part of my life, and I don't mention your name.
Yeah.
And I'm just referencing things and getting topics off. Getting inspired by it. Only person that really knows is you. Mm-hmm. Nobody knows that.
Unless you say something, yeah.
Right. Unless you make it a thing, and that's the thing. Because I'm 31 in a couple of weeks, so I've had a couple girlfriends.
Birthday. All right.
Appreciate it, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good season for us out here. Man.
Yeah.
But like those type things, I feel like okay, that's a little excessive. But when it comes to like talking in the camera and putting stuff on social media, man, you gotta really respect your relationships, man. Yeah, for sure.
Definitely, I agree 100%.
Yeah.
So, great convo, man. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, for sure, man.
First of many.
Just getting started, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate the invite, man.
Thanks for having us on.
We got something to say. We all got something to say. We'll add more conversations to this thing. I want you guys to be encouraged. Tell everybody your social media real quick. Starting to my left.
Instagram, L_Marquis. Twitter, L Marquis. Website, lmarquisproductions.com.
That's NonP Music. That's NonP Music and an underscore at the end. It'll pop up.
And I'm Frank, the host. And this, on the audio podcast, is I Got Something to Say. And we just had a few things to say about some of the things going on in the culture right now. And we look to continue to add to the culture. If no one's told you, we want to tell you, we love you.
Love you.
Peace.
Love.